Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the history of a true American icon, a car that has captured the hearts of enthusiasts for over 7 decades, the Chevrolet Corvette. This isn't just a car. It's a piece of rolling sculpture, a symbol of freedom, and a testament to American automotive ambition. So buckle up, because we're about to take a high-speed journey through time. Our story begins in the early 1950s. American soldiers returning from Europe had developed a taste for nimble, two-seater sports cars like MG, Jaguar, and Alfa Romeo. U.S. automakers. They were mostly building big, heavy, family sedans. But one man at General Motors, the legendary designer Harley Earl, saw an opportunity. He envisioned an American sports car that could compete with the European best. He codenamed his secret project Opel. The result, unveiled at the 1953 GM Motorama in New York City, was a stunning fiberglass-bodied roadster called the Chevrolet Corvette. The name, suggested by a GM employee named Myron Scott, came from a small, fast warship. It was perfect. The first-generation Corvette, now known as the C1, was a thing of beauty. With its polo white paint, red interior, and sleek lines, it looked like nothing else on the road. But under the hood, the initial 1953 model was a bit underwhelming. It featured an inline-six engine called the Blue Flame, paired with a 2-speed automatic transmission. It was more of a stylish cruiser than a true performance machine. Only 300 were hand-built that first year, making them incredibly rare today. Public reaction was electric, but sales were slow. The Corvette was on the verge of being canceled. Then, two crucial things happened. First, Ford introduced the Thunderbird in 1955, creating a direct rival and motivating GM to double down on the Corvette. Second, a brilliant engineer named Zora Arkazdantov joined the team. Zora, often called the father of the Corvette, knew the car needed V8 power. In 1955, the small-block V8 engine was introduced, and everything changed. The C1 was transformed from a pretty face into a genuine sports car. With Zora pushing for more power, better handling, and a manual transmission, the Corvette started earning its stripes on the racetrack. The later C1 South, with their iconic 4-headlight design and optional fuel injection, cemented the car's performance credentials. By 1963, it was time for a complete redesign. Enter the C2, the legendary Corvette Stingray, inspired by a concept car, penned by designers Larry Shinoda and Peter Brock. Under the direction of Bill Mitchell, the C2 was an instant masterpiece. Its sharp, aggressive lines, hidden headlights, and independent rear suspension were revolutionary. But the most iconic feature was the 1963 model's split rear window on the coupe. It was a bold design choice that was discontinued after just 1 year due to visibility concerns, making the 63 split window one of the most collectible Corvettes of all time. The C2 also introduced legendary engines like the 327 small block and the monstrous 427 big block L88, turning the Stingray into a dominant force on both the street and the track. Then came 1968 and the arrival of the C3, the Shark. Its design was even more dramatic, inspired by the Mako Shark 2 concept car. With its long, swooping fenders and Coke bottle shape, the C3 had an unmistakable presence. This generation had the longest production run in Corvette history, spanning from 1968 all the way to 1982. It saw the peak of the muscle car era with massive big block engines in its early years. However, it also weathered the storm of the 1970s oil crisis and tightening emissions regulations. As the years went on, horsepower numbers dropped, and the focus shifted slightly more towards touring comfort. With features like T-tops becoming incredibly popular, the C3 era closed with a special collector's edition in 1982, featuring a unique hatchback rear window. After a 1-year hiatus in 1983, the C4 Corvette burst onto the scene in 1984, representing a massive leap into the modern era. It was a complete departure from the C3's curvy lines, featuring a sleek, angular, and aerodynamic design. This was a car built for handling. Its uniframe construction was stiffer, and its all-new suspension provided incredible grip. The C4 was a technological showcase with a digital dashboard that looked like it was straight out of a fighter jet. The performance came roaring back during this generation, culminating in the legendary 1990 ZR-1, nicknamed the King of the Hill, developed with Lotus. Its LT5 engine was a dual overhead cam V8 marvel that put the Corvette back on the world stage, competing with the likes of Ferrari and Porsche. The C5 generation, arriving in 1997, refined the C4's formula to near perfection. The design was smoother and more elegant, but the real magic was underneath. This was the first Corvette to feature a rear-mounted transaxle, which created a near-perfect 50/50ths weight distribution, dramatically improving balance and handling. It was also the debut of the now legendary LS1 V8 engine, an all-aluminum power plant that was lighter, more powerful, and more efficient than its predecessors. The C5 platform was so good that it brought back the high-performance Z06 model, a track-focused beast that offered supercar performance for a fraction of the price. The C5 truly established the Corvette as the world's best performance value. In 2005, the C6 arrived. It kept the successful front-engine, rear transaxle layout of the C5, but sharpened every aspect. The design was more compact and aggressive. And for the first time since 1962, the Corvette featured fixed, exposed headlights, a controversial but ultimately modernizing move. Power increased across the board, and the interior quality took a significant step up. But the big news for the C6 generation was the return of two legendary names. The Z06 came back with a massive 7.0-liter, 505 horsepower V8, and then, in 2009, the King returned. The ZR-1. This time, it packed a supercharged V8 producing a mind-blowing 638 horsepower, making it the first production Corvette to officially top 200 miles per hour. The C7, introduced for the 2014 model year, brought the Stingray name back. It was a visual knockout, with sharp, angular styling inspired by fighter jets and a vastly improved, driver-focused interior that finally silenced critics. Performance was staggering across the entire lineup. From the base Stingray to the supercharged Z06, the C7 was the pinnacle of the front-engine Corvette formula. A world-class sports car that could do everything well. It was a masterpiece, and for many, it seemed like the ultimate expression of what a Corvette could be. But Zora Arkus-Dontov's original dream from the 1960s was about to be realized. And that brings us to today, and the most radical transformation in the car's history. The C8. In 2020, Chevrolet did the unthinkable. After decades of rumors and prototypes, they moved the engine from the front to the middle. The C8 Stingray is a true mid-engine exotic, with the looks, performance, and handling to challenge supercars costing 3 times as much. This layout provides incredible traction, razor-sharp handling, and a driving experience unlike any Corvette before it. With variants like the flat-plane crank Z06, the Corvette has fully evolved from an American sports car into a global from Holly Earl's dream in 1953 to the mid-engine marvel of today. The Chevrolet Corvette has always represented the best of American ingenuity and passion. It has evolved, adapted, and constantly pushed the boundaries of performance, all while remaining an attainable dream for millions. It's more than just a car. It's a cultural icon and a rolling piece of history. What's your favorite generation of Corvette? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this trip through automotive history, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next one.